You guys are probably already tired of me saying this, but welcome back to some more Madden 20 science. As today we have another interesting experiment on the cards. As you see in the title, what we are going to do today is see how bad a 99 overall team, a full 99 team, every player, 99 stats across the board, would beat a full entire 0 overall team with 0 overall stats across the board as well. I mean, I'm expecting something crazy, dude, like 500-0 games. We'll have to see what the heck Madden 20 thinks would happen. But hopefully, guys, do enjoy today's experiment. If you do, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe if you are new. Turn on the notification bell if you haven't. Let me know of any other experiment ideas you do have in the comment section below. But with that said, my dudes, let's see what the heck is going to happen. Now, first of all, I want to show you the two teams. We have the Green Bay Packers, full 0 overall across the board. I mean, obviously, if you guys are familiar with any of these experiments, all the other players have full 0 stats, as you guys do see. For some reason, it says 12 overall, but technically, I mean, logically, it's a 0 overall player since he has 0 overall stats. Now, on the other hand, the team in our division is the Minnesota Vikings at 99 stats across the board for every single player, as I feel like this is going to be an absolute bloodbath. And now the reason we chose these two teams is because obviously if you look at the team schedule, since we are in the same division, we do play each other twice this year. So I want to see how bad both games are in simulations. And I want to see how bad this 0 overall team does in a simulation. I want to see how good a 99 overall team does in a simulation, how bad their blowouts are. Now, first things first, what I do want to do is I need to simulate until week number 1, because although you have autofill roster off and all that jazz, what happens is that sometimes the CPU, even with the team that you control, the CPU will still assign players and put them at positions. Now, we're going to sim to the regular season, and hopefully it doesn't do any of that, because I don't want to have to mess up the experiment at all. As we head into this regular season, it looks like, thank God, dude, they kept all the 0 overall players on our roster, so the experiment can go ahead now, dudes. I want you to let me know in the comment section below, as we sim to the playoffs, let me know what you think the score is going to be in these two games that the 99 overall team matches up against the 0 overall team. I mean, obviously, we're going to go 0-16 on the year, and like I would be willing to bet my house and my car that the 99 overall team is going to go 16-0, win the Super Bowl. I mean, they should. But still, let me know what you think the score is going to be in the comment section below. And with that said, my dudes, simulation is now over. Obviously, we lost our last game of the year 79-0 against a normal team. So you can only imagine how bad we lost to the 99 overall team. We went 0-16. The Vikings went 16-0. Probably going to be the only team that did go 16-0. They did why are the Bills doing so freaking good in all these simulations I've done the last few videos? And the worst record in the league, aside from us, ends up going to the Miami Dolphins at 3-13. I mean, they're technically a 0 overall with how bad their team is. But the moment is truth, dudes. Let's see how bad we did on our schedule as a 0 overall team. I mean, look at this, dudes. We lost in the preseason, the normal teams, by 128 points. I'm interested to see if we even scored a point the entire season. And we only lost to the Vikings 132-0. Now, they're a full 99 overall team. I expected a lot worse. Now, it looks like we didn't score a point all season long. That was in the first matchup that we had. In matchup number 2, we lost 140-0. We didn't score a point all season long. Now, I'm a little disappointed. I thought it was going to be like 200 or so to nothing. Now, they had 710 yards gained. We had -34. Now, looking at the stats, I want to see how we did in this game. Deshaun Kaiser threw 3 interceptions, completed 4 passes out of 11. We didn't even, how is that even a thing? How do we not even attempt to run the ball? So apparently we had 11 plays on offense all game long. And poor old Marquez Valdez-Scantling had 35 yards on the day. Now, how did the Vikings do? They threw for only 156 yards, and they ran for 349 and 7 touchdowns. So no wonder that was the case. Now, in game number 2, I do want to see how we did. We lost 140-0. We had a total of 57 positive yards, so that's a good thing. They had 779. So their defense didn't play too well this game. DeShone Kizer 100 yards on this game and 3 interceptions. Now they ran for, once again, 7. They had 2 running backs. They had 2 running backs for 7 touchdowns. That's insane. Now I do want to go to the Vikings schedule now and see how they did this season against normal teams. How many close games did they have? They only won this game 42-14. They beat us 132-0. Did they have any other really close game? They allowed 21 points to the Seahawks. So it looks like the closest game that came to losing was, 26 points? So 26-point game to the Seahawks in Seattle. Now I am interested to see, maybe this is a future idea, let me know in the comment section below. I want to sim 10, 15, 20 seasons with a 499 rated team and see if they ever would lose a game. Now I wouldn't expect that to happen, but you see this, I mean, it's possible. I think if a team can come within 26 points of beating them, I think within maybe 10-20 seasons, something like that could possibly happen. Now, obviously, I want to check out the stats across the board. We had 413 total yards on the year, and we allowed 10,690 yards. We didn't even have a rank there. Now, yearly awards, I'm expecting Amir Abdullah and Dalvin Cook, that even the second string running back in our team came in second in the MVP race. We had Shamar Stephen and Linval Joseph, so 2 defensive players come in the top 5, and that does it for the top 10. Now looking at our team stats, DeShone Kizer, 1,100 yards, 32 interceptions, no touchdowns, 127 sacks. Now running the football, we didn't even have a rushing attempt all season long. What does that even mean? How is that even a thing? How did we not run the ball one time? So anyways, that's interesting. Our leading receiver, Devontae Adams, with 330 yards. Once again, nobody caught a touchdown pass. Defensively, Oren Burke still had 142 total tackles. We had 0 sacks on this season, 0 interceptions. So it looks like we didn't even force a turnover all year long. That's just sad. When it comes to kicking the football, we had a total of only 2 field goals attempted, and he missed both of them. Now, punting the football, J.K. Scott, 7,461 yards punted for, an average of 41 yards per punt. Now, of course, we have to go look at the Vikings and see how they did statistically. Kirk Cousins, 45 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, only was sacked 2 times all year long, 3,300 yards. I'm scared to look at this, dudes. Amir Abdullah, 3,000 yards, 47 rushing touchdowns, and Dalvin Cook, 1,900 yards and 28 rushing touchdowns. Even our third string running back had 8 rushing touchdowns. Kirk Cousins had 3. Receiving yard wise, Adam Thielen led us with 760 yards. Receiving touchdowns goes to Kyle Rudolph with 10. Now defensively, a couple of these guys came in top 10 of the MVP race, and no wonder. 43 sacks. You're telling me this guy had 43 sacks. We had 2 players with 43 sacks, yet they didn't come in the top 2 or 3 of the MVP race. I would think a 43 sack season would be a little bit better than what our backup running back Dalvin Cook did today. Now that's insane. How did we have 43 sacks yet only 18 tackles for loss? That's interesting. Even Danielle Hunter had 33 sacks, and Stephen Weatherly had 19. We had Eric Kendricks leading with 5 sacks on the year. They had a lot of forced fumbles. How about defensive touchdowns? We had a ton of defensive touchdowns. 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 defensive touchdowns on the year, which is absolutely insane. They had to break a ton of NFL records that season. Now, with that said, dudes, we are going to advance to the Super Bowl and see how bad the Vikings actually win in this Super Bowl. Vikings, Chiefs, how bad? What if they actually lose? How funny would it be if they actually lose? They won 42-7 in the Super Bowl. Not a complete blowout, like a 100-0 blowout like I expected, but it was still pretty bad. So the answer to the question in the title of today's video, how bad would a 99 overall team beat a 0 overall team? 132-0, game number 1. And game number 2, 140 to nothing. So an average of like 135 points, which I could say we all could agree on the fact that that's a pretty big blowout. So with that said, dudes, hopefully you did enjoy today's experiment. And if you did, make sure to smash that like button. Subscribe if you are new. Turn on the notification bell if you haven't. But I'll catch you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day. God bless and peace.